Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And today I have my first efforts at working through some of the new materials from the new catalog. And so today I'll be working with the Flowers for Every Season suite, and that's a pretty large suite. It has designer series paper, which I'll be using. It also has the Memories and More card pack, which I'll be using, and the Flowers for Every Season Memories and More cards and envelopes. And what I decided to do was use all of those things together to make a set of note cards. And I thought that would be a lovely little gift and get me started using some of the material. So let's just get started. Okay, this is the result of the first one that I made, and what we're going to do is make the rest of them together. So this is one of the cards from the cards and envelope pack, and they come in all of the in colors. So the other thing I'm using is I'm using a stamp from a Butterfly Gala, so that says A Little Note, and I am using the designer series paper for Flowers for Every Season, as well as some of the papers from the designer series paper for the in colors. And since they're coordinated, that gave me some additional material to use. So I am using the card base that's provided. I kind of like it because it's a little bit bigger than a standard card. So I am using their envelope. You don't know how it tears me up not to be able to tear this envelope apart and use the insides. But if I did that and I made this card, then I'd have to make my own envelope. So on this one, this is the card I came up with, and it's using some of the designer series paper from the Flowers for Every Season, some of the in color ribbon, and stickers from the card pack, the Memories and More card pack, more of the designer series paper. There's my little note, which I stamped right on the front of this card, right on the designer series paper. And then on the inside, I used the designer series paper from the in colors to back this little piece, and a bow sticker from the Memories and More pack. So what I've decided to do is I have put together several cards. Now this is one using the Bumblebee, let's see, Moonlight, what's this called? Moonlight, I'll put it up on the screen for you. It still won't stay in my head. I know this one is Bumblebee. And so what I decided to do on this one is I'm using contrasting papers, and this is on the other side of this beautiful paper from the designer series paper. And this is cut 4 inches by 6 inches, and you'll see that it's going to fit right on the front of this card. Then this piece is going to layer on here. We're going to have some ribbon and perhaps a bow, and then I have to decide what I'm going to do to put a flower like I did on this one on the front of this card, and I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing yet. So this is this one, and this will be the decoration for the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started here. And I'm going to put down my paper with my floral design right here on the green. And then I am going to put my ribbon, I think I'll do this ribbon, on the back side of this piece, and maybe, let's see, let me get a silicone mat. I can't work without one. Put a little bit of glue on the back of this ribbon and decide where I want it on the card. And I'm thinking right down here. Then I can anchor this back around on the back side. Let me make sure that's straight. I think so. There we go. Then add a little bit more tape on this, and this is ready to go on the front of this card. Now, with this one, it worked, I think, to put a little note on this one. And on this, I think I'm going to decide here whether I want to put my little note message on a piece of Very Vanilla or on a piece of Whisper White. So here are my pieces, white and Very Vanilla. And I think the white is too stark. So I am going to use my Memento ink and my stamp that says a little note. And I'm going to just put this right down here along the bottom. I don't have my pierce mat, but I can make a couple of layers by stamping on a few of these pieces here to get a little cushion. So a little note right down here. I think I'm going to do that again because it looks like I've got a little something on the edge of this stamp that wants to rub off. There we go. Let's try that again. A little note right down here on the bottom of my piece of Very Vanilla. There we go. Nice and clean. Much better. All right. I think I'm just going to use my little mini trimmer here to cut this piece off. And that looks about right. No, it's going to have to be trimmed down just a little tiny bit more from the bottom. So I'm going to set that in place inside my trimmer and give that a little cut. There we go. Now what I can do is use my snips to cut this off and flag this end. All right, and let's see here. I think I'm going to end up putting my little note right down here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and pop that up on dimensionals just above my ribbon, going a little bit into the green. And then I have these stickers, and I have to decide which one works the best. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is use this one, and I'm going to perform a little surgery and make the blue flower go away. So I'm just going to fussy cut around those couple of petals, and I'll show you how I'm going to use this sticker to do what I want to on this card. And I'm just going to make sure none of that blue is showing. And I'm going to use my embossing buddy here to de-stick the back of this sticker. So take the sticky off of the sticker, and there we've got a flower quite similar to the one on here. And I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back of it. and put that in place right in here. Now I also cut another little piece of ribbon in case I wanted a bow, and I just might we'll tie a little bow. This is that new ribbon, and I did look it up. It's polyester, but it feels a lot like cotton. Very pretty. And I don't want a huge bow on this, but I'm going to cut that and maybe set this bow right down here under my little note with a glue dot. So I'm going to stick a glue dot on the back of that bow, and I'm going to tuck it right in here next to the flower and under my note. Then these two pieces, now these are very fast cards. It's wonderful to have the choice of between the designer series paper for the suite, which is the flowers for every season, I think it is. Is that what it says? Flowers for every season. Yeah, flowers for every season. Plus the in color designer series paper all coordinate with this designer series paper. So, and then the Memories and More pack, which has many of those same patterns in there. It makes for a series of very fast cards. And there we go. We've got a lovely little card here and to go with our envelope. Let me snare the envelope that goes with this. Here's our envelope that matches the yellow card base. And there we've got 2 cards towards our little note pack. So I'm going to keep going here. Now I've got the one that is called Cinnamon Cider. And on this one, I thought the contrasting colors would be great fun if it was this bumblebee and then the daisies, and then I've got these flowers that are daisies that I can put up. So, and then I put aside both the brown cider or the cinnamon cider ribbon, and I think I want to use the cinnamon cider because there's really no brown in this paper. So I think I will use this one. Okay, so this is the same thing. So I'm going to just kind of go lickety-split here and put this paper down on here. Then I'm going to cut a little piece of this ribbon, and I'm going to add some snail to the back of it and put a little bit of snail on my card and put this into place on my card and wrap this around and anchor it on the back, and the same thing on this side. And there we've got that ready to go. Then this is going to go right on the front of my card. I'm going to take that sticker, and I've already used the embossing powder on the back of it to sort of de-stick it. And now I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals. It's amazing, even with all of that powder on there, the dimensionals stick and hold your project in place. So I'm going to add the dimensionals and put this little flower bunch right down over here. And now you see we've got that little bit of brown, and I think we still need another little bit of brown. So I am going to make a very fast bow and put it right on that corner. So we've got a little bow, and I have some glue dot that we're going to stick right here, kind of sideways, and maybe tuck part of it under the flower right here on our card. And then the only other thing we need is the little note stamp, which I have here with my Memento ink. And I'm really tempted on this one to put my little note message right down here on the bottom in the yellow, where it'll stick out a little bit more. And there we go. There is our little note. And this one calls for an envelope that has the cinnamon cider interior. And there we have 3 cards now towards our little note card set. So there we go. Now, oh, I forgot the inside. So this is going to go on here, right down the center of this piece of paper. And this, by the way, these papers are all 6 inches, and that works beautifully for the designer series paper in this set. So now I'm going to add this to the bottom here, giving it a little margin kind of all the way around. And there is our next note card. All right. Onward. This one is done on the Magenta Madness cardstock, and I thought that one would be fun. I went through the papers and I selected this one from the designer series paper for the in colors, and I like the contrast of the blue and the magenta. So I'm going to, yes, I think what I have to do, oh, out of tape. Okay. So I'm going to add some tape to the back of this and set this on this pretty blue background. Then I'm going to put some of my magenta ribbon on this and add some snail to the back and anchor my ribbon down right here. I thought this was such a fun idea for a set of note cards. I love giving these, you know, before our current craziness, I used to love to go to somebody's house to, oh, I don't know, we get together to play cards or just to visit a little dinner party. And I love taking little sets of note cards to the hostess. It makes just the loveliest gift. Well, I'm going to be all ready to go by the time this pandemic is done, because I'm going to have lots of time to make plenty of these. Okay, so here we go. Then this right on the front of here. And they're just such fun cards. Now this was one of the stickers that was in there, and so on this one, because it had a white background, I went ahead and stamped my little note here, and then I used some of the other stickers here. I used the little pink bow from there, and then some of these little flowers to go on the edge. and I thought that one would be kind of fun to go right on here. In fact, I'm going to put it up a little bit so this pink bow looks like it's on the ribbon. And I'm going to add just a couple of dimensionals right about there on my card. Oops, a little crooked. There we go. And then these pieces need to be added to the inside. And there we go. And I'll add this on the inside. Now these pieces are both 6 inches long, and the matting piece is 1 1/4, and the matching flower piece is 1 inch. And so there we have a little note. This one still looks like it needs a little something. You know, I think I'm just going to add some rhinestones just to give it a little bit of sparkle. And I'm going to scatter a couple of rhinestones. And I think what I'm going to do is put one in each of these little flowers on my tag. There we go. And then slide a couple more around on the card. I didn't put any other embellishments on the others. I may want to go back and do that, just because it makes such a difference, I think, in the end when your card has a little bit of sparkle to it. Yeah, that definitely helps. Okay, so there is that one, and here is my pink, magenta envelope, and there is my 4th card. And my last one is done on the Just Jade, and on this one I picked this pretty cinnamon cider to go like this with this flower in the middle, because it's got the jade flowers, jade leaves in it, and I thought that was just so pretty. So I'm going to do that same thing again. Attach this piece to the center of my card. And now I have 2 choices on the ribbon. Well, I have lots of choices on the ribbon, but I thought it might be kind of fun to use this gingham ribbon out of this 3 ribbon pack for this suite. And so I'm going to use that green gingham, and the checks match the checks in the background piece. So again, I'm going to put a little bit of snail in the middle and some on the ends, and I'm going to put a little bit of snail. Yep, let's see, am I doing that right? Yep. On the back of the card, and get this piece set down. I just think that's such a pretty color combination. The blue, the green, and the cinnamon cider. Some of these colors are just great together. Okay, now this piece is ready to go down on my card. Put a little extra snail on those ribbons. And this to go down here. Now, just the littlest bit crooked. There we go. And then on this one, I thought this little flower here matches this pretty darn closely. So again, I'm going to use my embossing buddy here to de-stick the sticker part of that and put that right up there a little bit off the card so you can really see that it is separate from the rest of the flowers. Right there. Now then, I'm going to take this ribbon and tie a bow and trim my tails and find my glue dots, and I'm going to add this ribbon over here underneath my flower like that. There we go. Now then, these two pieces to go on the inside. And you see, how long did this take? Not too long at all. I did do my design a little bit ahead of time, but you can see that once you've got your idea of what you want to do, this would be an easy card to replicate. And I think there's 10 cards in this note card and envelope pack, so you could do 2 5-card note sets with this, and you've got infinite numbers of papers and things with the designer series paper. And then you could put this on also you could do this on just some of the cardstock in the in colors, and the cards would just be a little bit smaller and have plenty of opportunity to do this. Now this one I think needs to have its note, a little note done on very vanilla again. So I'm going to grab my ink and my stamp. See if I can get a layer or two underneath me here. And I'm going to put my little note message as close to the bottom as I can get it. Make this one a little bit different. There we go. And just as simple a little note as possible. In fact, I'm going to chop that down a little bit from the bottom because I want very right up against the words. And there we go. Let's see if that's straight. It looks to be. And I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back of this. And we're going to add this piece right here, going off the flowers. And there it says a little note. And then I have a green envelope to fit with this note card. And there we have a very fast note card project using the flowers for every season and the designer series paper for that project, as well as the designer series paper for the in colors. and I'm really pleased with those. They're fast, they were easy, you could sit down, even knowing that you're going someplace and you want to leave a little something, going back to see your hairstylist after all this time when you get a haircut, going back to see the gal that does my nails, that kind of thing. And I think these are perfect little gifts. Tie a little bit of ribbon around them all and make them available to someone. And I think it's a lovely little gift, very fast, very easy, and the first time I've used some of the new product, so it's very exciting. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, or you could join my team. It's always a good time to join Stampin' Up! Let's see, it's still May. So my prize draw for the month of May is a bundle of your choice out of the new catalog. And all you have to do to put yourself in my drawing is put an order of any size on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net, or you can get to it through my blog, www.inkandingenuity.com. So that's it for me, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!